iu na mauna e no na kawaii kia I hu kele kapue ke kai kunane wai kia. First of all, I'm not a master storyteller. I fell into this profession and this title simply because I talk too much. And that's the report that was sent home every day from school to my mom. Your son talks too much. Fortunately, I have a wife who takes care of the business aspect of what I do, and all I do is show up and talk. That's it. I am humbled to be in this location tonight because, as I was sharing with Courtney, in the 70s, my papa worked here. He was a security guard. Every time he would come home, my mother and my siblings would ask him, "So what, Papa, you seen any ghosts?" My papa was from Niihau, and he said, "There are ghosts at the museum, but they don't bother us Hawaiian security guards because they know us. They bother the non-Hawaiian security guards because they don't know who they are." My papa in 1986 was at home down the street from here, and he passed away of a heart attack. We found out later on at the services that during the time he was having the heart attack, that there was an old Hawaiian man that came every single day when he was working, and they would have lunch together out front, and they would talk. So on the day that my papa passed away, the old Hawaiian man showed up and asked for a kakani. And someone told him that kakani wasn't here today, it was his day off. Then the old Hawaiian man said, "Awe. I know today he has passed." And since then, that old Hawaiian man never showed up at the museum. Zita Kapchoi at Iolani Palace told me something very interesting. She said, the book that Kalakaua published, Legends and Myths of Hawaii, that was not going to be the original title. The original title was going to be called Oral Traditions of Hawaii. Because Kalakaua said, these are oral traditions, these are not folklore, these are not legends. These are things that actually did happen. No matter how fantastic they sound, my people were so connected to their surroundings and their ancestral deities that it was a daily occurrence. And even Kumuhula Kalaniakana said the word supernatural, if you think about it, does not exist in our vocabulary because everything that happened in the Hawaiian environment was a natural occurrence, no matter how fantastic it seemed. And so, I will share with you these oral traditions of Manō that were passed down to me by my Papa Nizo, my mother, my kukuna. And no matter how fantastic they may seem, they happen to real people who were kind enough to share their first-hand accounts with sharks. Sarah Kaopio from Niihau said herself, growing up in Pu'uvai, it was hard. The lifestyle was very strict, and her parents wouldn't let her do anything or go anywhere. And so when she got frustrated, she would disappear, and no one would know where she would go, and she'd come back maybe for the latter part of the day. And so Sarah Kaupio's sister one day experienced her frustration. She yelled at her parents, ran out of the house, and she followed her sister. She said her sister dove into the ocean and never came up, and was gone for the entire day. This happened a few times. And so finally one day when her sister Sarah came home, the baby Tita says, "Where do you go?" "What do you mean where I go? I don't go anywhere. I just go, holo holo, that's it." She said, "No, you don't. I see you jump in the ocean and then you don't come up from the water, so where you go?" And so, not wanting to be busted by her parents, not wanting to be tattled on, Sarah Kaupio says to her little sister, "I will take you where I go, but you gotta hold on to me, you gotta hold on to my neck, and you cannot let go. Because if you let go, you cannot breathe underwater." So she hopped on her sister's back, held on to her like this. And she said her sister Sarah dove into the ocean. Deeper and deeper they went underneath Niihau. There was another island beneath it. They came up into this cavern filled with water. When they finally surfaced, Sarah sat on a rock like this in a cave with phosphorescent things that lit it as if it were pure daylight. And she remembers that the diving under and the swimming was of such a length of time that there was no way that anybody could hold their breath that long without drowning. She said it happened several times. The little sister began to believe that there was something about her tita, Sarah. Sarah was married. She would go to the ocean and the shark would swim in and she would feed it. She asked her, "Why do you feed the shark?" And she says, "Because my husband fishes, and so do my sons. The shark and I have made a bond. We have made a promise that as long as I malama and take care of it and feed it, my family will come to no harm." Papa Nizo said there used to be a rite of passage, and he wouldn't say which island it was off of Niihau, neither Kaula or Leua. But underneath one of those islands, he said, lived the shark who guarded the people of Niihau. His name is Kuhai. You notice I don't say his name was Kuhai. That is his name. Beneath Kuhai cave was another cave, they said, that lived an older shark, and that was so old, it actually had umi. It had white whiskers like this. And when Papa Nizo told me this, sitting at the kitchen table at our house, not too far from here, I was already in my 20s and I was full of myself. I knew everything. And I told him, "What? How can?" He said, "Hey, come on." The boys would have to dive into that cave, yank out one of the umi, one of the whiskers, and then swim back up and show it. That was the rite of passage. Papa Nizo said, not too many guys made it. Not too many. And so I said, "Why? You did them. You didn't do them." He said, "I was. Then I got into trouble. So I had to come to Honolulu. That's how I met your mother at McKinley High School." I said, "Come on. No lie." But Papa Nizo's sister, Auntie Mele, came over. She confirmed it. They even said that the church of Niihau is the church that represents God. And she said the Niihau people, at the same time, go underneath Niihau in a cave, and they put ho'okupu on a surfboard, and they cast it into the cave of Kuhai. That is their offering, and that is how the Manō protect the people of Niihau. Then Papa Nizo said, "But you know, Hawaii, huh? The Kauai shark, the Kauai Manō, and the Niihau shark, they don't get along. They don't like each other. But even though they don't get along, they don't cross into each other's territory." He said, "Really?" He goes, "My father loved to gamble. Whenever he get a chance, he go Kauai. He gamble with those guys. And one day he go win too much money. Two local Japanese guys. He win all their money. Oh, they're all mad. When they leave the house in Kauai, Pakala village, oh, they bust him up. They tie him up, throw him inside the rowboat, row him all the way out to the channel in the dock. And they would figure to each other, they would pick up my papa, throw him in the ocean, let him drown, hand and feet. But you know, my papa, he's strong. He know how to float, even though the hand and the feet tied up. But when they was throwing him in the water like that, the boat started to rock. My papa fall this side of the ocean, the Kauai, the two guys fall on this side of the ocean. Even though all that, they cannot tell that when my papa went fall, this side of the ocean was the Niihau side. The two dirty buggers will fall on this side of the ocean, that's the Kauai side. The Kauai sharks will go eat those two guys right in front of my papa. He couldn't believe it, and then all of a sudden he feels something come underneath him like this. Sharks swim him back to Niihau. No more after that. He gambled. This is me in my mid-20s, full of myself. Okay, come on. Let's get older. And I come into my own. Things start to happen. Anybody know where Poka'i Bay is? It's interactive, you gotta raise your hand. Okay, thank you. So I'm doing a play at Lyric Community College, and it's about the district of Waianae. And as part of our exercise, one of the women in the play heads a canoe club in Hawaiian. And so the cast has to go out and camp overnight at Popepi. And we get to paddle the canoe, we paddle out past the breakers, we come back, everybody gets a turn. When it's finally my turn, and I'm with the last few guys, and we turn around, we're coming back like that, and I dip the paddle into the water, and I look down. I notice there's a dark, shadowy figure underneath the canoe, and I keep paddling, and I don't say anything, and it keeps following us. As soon as we touch shore, and we're carrying the canoe up to the sand, the woman, Auntie Ronnie, comes up to me and she says, "So what, brother, you seen him?" I said, "Seen what?" "The Manō, the shark was underneath the canoe, you seen him?" I said, "Oh, that thing was like right underneath us." I didn't want to say anything, I was so scared. She said, "No, that Manō is so big, it looks like it's underneath the canoe, right underneath. It's a couple feet down." She goes, come, follow me. So I walk all the way out to the point, Kane'ilio Point, the Niihau, and we sit down. And you know how some of you older women have that little purse where you carry all your stuff in the one thing about this big, the cigarettes and all that? She pulls out a flask with whiskey inside. She opens the top, and she says, "Maybe you don't remember, it was before your time, it was 1972. Me and my two cousins, we go cut out high school. We go Hawaiian High School. I go steal my mara's car. And my cousin go bring her Panasonic radio. And my other cousin go steal beer from the father's refrigerator. And so we stay at Keawaula, not Yokohama, Keawaula. My two cousins drinking beer, listening to the Panasonic radio. You know what is Panasonic radio? Yeah. Me, I look at the water, oh, just like the thing calling me. So I run down the beach, I dive inside the water, I'm swimming out, and I notice I'm swimming pretty fast, the thing taking me out pretty fast. And then when I try to turn around for swim in, I stuck. I stay in one place. I'm in the current, and I'm drunk, and I'm getting weak, and I'm getting tired, and I start screaming like this with my two cousins, but you know them. They drunk too, and they're all laughing and listening to the music. They don't can hear me. And so I thought to myself, oh, that's what I get for stealing my mother's car. I don't mock it. And I black out. When I wake up, I'm lying down on the beach like this. My two cousins leaning over me crying, you know, all crying and all hysterical. They dragged me up to the beach to go sit inside the car. And they told me when they were sitting on the sand like that, listening to the radio, getting drunk, they looked down the sand and this huge wave pulled back like this. And you know the wall inside the wave? They said that one huge, shadowy figure of a man would walk right out of the wall of the wave. He's dragging something behind him like this. Dark skin, red mouth, long white beard, long white hair. And he walked up right to my two cousins and he gave them stink eye like this. And the thing he get in his hand behind him, he throw right at their feet. That was me. And he glared at them. And he turned around, walked down the sand like this, and the wave's still stuck. The thing never break. The wave crashed right over this guy. And as soon as the wave crashed and all the water come up to the beach, this huge fin comes out of the water and just swims out. I went to tell my mother that story, what would happen. Oh, she gave me 30 lickings. Steal the car, steal the beer, almost mock it. My two cousins get lickings too, because they was too drunk for help me, almost went die. But after powder lickings, my mother, oh, she cried. She said, that was your aumākua. That was Komoho Ali, the eldest and most sacred brother of Pele. That's our family. You're lucky. You're stupid, but you're lucky. And so Auntie Ronnie says, the Manō you seen paddling underneath the canoe, that was him.